everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. The Mr. Olympia contest is coming up next weekend. Who better to have as a guest than the GOAT, the greatest of all time? A lot of people call him that. 8-time Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. Always glad to be on.
So, first question, because I know you're recovering from all these surgeries. How are you feeling? How's your mobility?
Oh, I'm feeling okay. Mobility, okay. I got 6 screws, a couple bolts. I got a couple plates, and I got some spaces in between the discs. So the doctor said I got one more surgery coming up in November where he's going to remove the screws. And hopefully mobility and everything gets better, because right now I got these nerves pressing up against all these screws, and it's causing a lot of pain, and not doing a lot for the mobility, because my right leg is real numb. I can barely feel it, but my left leg, it's a lot better. It's not as numb. It's just minor numbness in the left side, but I think once the screws come out, it's gonna get a whole lot better.
Cool. Did you have friends or family in Houston, Texas at all?
No, not really. My daughter lives right outside there, a place called Deer Park, but it's just she had a lot of flooding, in the neighborhood, but yeah, nothing like what the city of Houston actually got. I think she's probably like 40 minutes outside of Houston, so it wasn't real bad there. Just a lot of flooding and stuff like that, but okay, nothing like the Houston experience.
Glad to hear she's okay, and of course we all send our prayers and best wishes out to everybody in Florida, because they're about to get slammed right now too.
Yeah, hopefully it misses and goes another direction altogether.
This is like one of those crazy movies where like there's a million natural disasters happening at once, like called Armageddon or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is real crazy, unbelievably crazy.
Yeah. Before we get into talking about the Olympia, past Olympias, upcoming Olympia, I want to give you the chance to, set the record straight on something. I thought people were being very unkind to you, very unfair to you regarding that TMZ interview where they asked you about Dallas. I don't think you said anything out of line or, that was putting our industry in a bad light. Have you been hearing a lot of flack from that or not?
I haven't heard not one thing about it, Ron, to be honest with you about it. So okay. Well, I have no idea what you're even talking about. So okay. I guess people just go online and just talk all the time, but for the most part, I haven't heard anything about it. Yeah. I'm pretty busy. I'm in my own world over here. I got 4 kids. I got a wife. I work out every day. I run my Ronnie Coleman Signature Series, so I really don't have a lot of time to be on the internet, engaging in all the chat rooms and stuff. So I really didn't hear anything about what was said. They just asked me a few questions and I answered it,
right,
best I could.
I'm not going to dwell on that. We got much more important things to talk about. So,
okay.
Absolutely. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I just want to tell you that if people are giving you a hard time, I don't think you deserve it.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear anything about it, Ron. So
you're so much better off, Ronnie. You're so much better off not knowing all this crap that people talk on the internet.
Yeah. I got a life to run over here. I got kids to take care of. I got a wife to take care of. My mom just died, so
that's right. Yeah,
I don't really have time to be concerned about what other people are saying about me, because people have trashed me all my life.
Yeah, when you're on top, when you're successful, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right. So I wanted you to go over some memories of what I think are the highlight Olympias.
Okay.
I'd want to hear about. The first one, talk a little bit about 1991, which was not the first year you competed in it, but it was the first Olympia you went to. So
that was 1992. 91 is when I won the World Championships.
Yeah, 91. You were also at the Olympia a couple weeks later in Orlando.
Oh, well, yeah, I was at the one league. Got the record at.
Yeah.
I was there working security.
Right, right. You had a polo shirt on.
People were saying, you should be up there on stage. And I'm like, no, that'll never happen. And lo and behold, I was up there next year.
I remember you always had like a few people following you around everywhere you were. They were like, who are you? What do you know? What
They were actually taking pictures with me at that Olympic.
Well, you were the world champion already. You had just won the world championships. So.
Well, you know what? I didn't. I was on my way to it because
Okay.
it was right before it. The World Championship was like in November. I think the Olympia was in September
Oh, okay.
or somewhere around there that year.
Wow, so you were in prep mode at the Olympia that year.
I was actually getting ready, to go. I was actually getting ready for the Nationals, I think, because the Nationals.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
you had to qualify for the World Championship from the Nationals back in those days.
Correct.
Because they got their own on the show now they qualify, but back in those days, you went to the Nationals, and if you could pass the drug test, they would let you go to the World Championships.
Yep. Now, you just talked about it recently. How many heavyweights were there in your class?
There were 43 guys in the class, and I got fourth.
Yep.
But the first, second, and third place didn't show up to take the drug test, and I did, and of course I passed, and went to the World Championships, won, and got my pro card there.
That was amazing because, yeah, like you said, all those guys, and you're the only one who showed up to take the test.
I was the only one showed up to take the test. There was 43 guys in the class, and I was the only one showed up to take the test.
So,
and I guess nobody else thought they were drug free.
Well, I mean, I actually laugh when people question the fact that you were drug free when you turned pro, because if you look at pictures of you in 1991, very impressive physique, but very, very achievable for someone with amazing genetics who works their ass off. Which
exactly
that's what you were. You still are.
People don't even believe I competed in the Olympia drug free, but I did a couple of them, like that.
Yeah. In fact, let's get to that. 1992 was your first Olympia.
Yeah.
All the way over Finland, Helsinki.
Just stood up there on stage basically, and I had one of the best seats in the house. and I watched Dorian and I think there was Kevin battled it out.
That's right. Yeah.
Kevin got second. But he ever looked in his life pretty much.
Yeah, he was shredded out of his mind. He was only like 228 for that show. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good, Kevin.
So yeah, like you said, you were off to the side, had a good view, and I don't think anybody would have thought at that time that this guy over in the corner on the stage was going to dominate the sport the same way Lee Haney had just before that.
They didn't have a clue, and neither did I.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just glad to be there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
Because I never thought in a million years I'd be able to stand on the Olympia stage. Right. Competing as a amateur. I didn't even think I had it in me to turn pro.
So you're up there for your first Olympia, and you had it must have been like a 15-hour flight or something from Texas to get there.
It took us I think we flew to New York, and from New York it was 3 hours, then about like another 7-8 hours to Helsinki. So it was like 12-hour flight, something like that. But yeah, it was the highlight of my life pretty much.
I mean, I don't know how much of a fan you were of the sport or not, but it was a great lineup. You had Lou Ferrigno making a comeback after 17 years.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno was in that one too.
So
and
you competed against Ferrigno twice if you were in the 93 show, were you?
No, I didn't make 93.
You made 93? Nope. You had Labrada.
That's the only Olympia I didn't qualify for because I got 6. In a couple shows, I went to Niagara Falls, got 6. I went to San Francisco and got 6. Back then, you had to place in the top 3 to qualify.
Right. They didn't have the point system.
Wasn't good enough, so I didn't qualify that year.
Again.
94, and qualified. I qualified in Germany and Paris. I got 3rd in both of those shows.
Yep. So you were starting to move up by then.
That's the first Olympia that I placed in. I placed 15th.
Okay, that's a place. Yeah. I don't know where this was. I remember a quote from you I don't know if it was an interview, a press conference. I think it was a press conference where you were talking about guys who complain and like how it doesn't get you anywhere. And you said something like, I didn't place in my first Olympia. I didn't complain. I didn't place in my second Olympia, or I got 15th. I didn't complain. The bottom line is don't complain.
Yeah, just make the change.
Exactly. You did. You got better and better, and eventually look where it got you. So
exactly.
Let's jump ahead to the big year for you then. The breakthrough year was 1998. Dorian had just retired. Flex Wheeler was the guy everybody thought was going to come right after him and be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, because Flex had, won those Arnold Classics, and he got second like a couple times.
Yeah. And, but,
and
you
I
came
think
out
Kevin
from
was up with him too.
Place the year before?
I was ninth. I got ninth the year before.
Wow. So you jumped from ninth place to beating Flex Wheeler, who was probably the most decorated bodybuilder competing at that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was close. It was close.
Heir to the throne, basically.
You look great too, absolutely. But what's your biggest memory?
On him, and he was supposed to guest pose at the women's show, like I think a couple weeks later, and they charged all this outrageous price and everything to guest pose, and because she just knew he was gonna win.
Wow.
She knew he was gonna win.
So, what's your biggest memory of hearing your name called out as Mr. Olympia that first time?
I'm not gonna really lie to you about it. I don't really remember. I don't remember too much about it because after he called my name, I kind of collapsed a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know where I went. I went to another place. I know that for sure because I went back and watched the film, and I'm like, man, Chris and Flex, they all touched me and said something to me, and I don't remember nothing. I didn't remember a thing. All I remember was laying on the floor, and then I looked up, and I guess I came to after about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and Vicky was there. I'm like, where did she come from? And she was picking me up off the floor.
Oh man!
I guess somebody said, go get him off the floor. He's been laying there for about 2 or 3 minutes now, because they were handing out Flex's award, and they really wasn't paying me a lot of attention because they had to hand out his awards first, and then mine.
Yeah.
He had to take those pictures and all that kind of stuff. Do his thing. And so I just laid there, and because I was out of it. I ain't gonna lie. I was totally, completely gone. It was like my mind, my body just went to another world, and because I was, I was in shock basically. I was a little bit of a shock, and like I said, 2 or 3 minutes passed. Like I said, they had to hand out Flex's award, and next thing I remember was Vicky coming on stage and picking me up off the floor, and I'm like, where did she come from?
I don't think there's a lot of women out there that could pick up Ronnie Coleman, but she did it. So.
Yeah, Vicky, she could bench press almost 350 pounds, almost 400 pounds. She was pretty strong, so.
She had some muscle on her. I remember Vicky very well.
She had some muscle, and she had some good strength on her too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I think you're not allowed to train at Metroflex unless you're super strong, I believe.
Exactly.
Or if you're not strong when you get there, you will be soon.
Exactly.
So I wanted to ask you, you had a lot of different looks as Mr. Olympia. Your weight went up and down, different, very, you went from more, streamlined and shredded to really huge, thick, full, a lot of different looks. Do you have a favorite year that you think you looked your best, that you were happiest with?
I like the first one. The was the one I liked the best.
Yeah.
Because I went back and I've gone back and look at all the pictures, and the first one was the one that I was most shredded and had the most roundness.
Yeah.
In the best shape.
Right.
Most roundness in the best shape in the one I was the hardest at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, it was a great look. I mean, you beat Flex Wheeler at his prime. So
you know what? To be honest, I didn't know I looked like that until I saw the pictures. I had no clue. because I don't really like looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Because I grade myself real hard. So before I go out on stage, I avoid all the mirrors. I don't like looking at myself while I warm up. And before when I'm in the room, I'm all covered up with clothes on.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how I looked until I saw the pictures in the magazine, basically.
Yeah, because that was before we had all the online coverage.
I see why I won that show. Because I remember backstage, Joe Weider was coming up to me. He's like, "Oh man, you look really good. You're gonna win this thing." I'm like, "We in the same? We talking about the same show?" Flex and NASA got called out before me, and who else got called? I think it was Flex, NASA, and Kevin were first called out. Remember? You remember?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm like, Flex and NASA and Kevin got the first call out, not me. I'm just trying to make the top 5, Joe. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I got to throw another.
No. Huh? I got a lot of feelings about this one. He's like, I really think you're gonna win. I'm like, okay, whatever you say.
Every bodybuilder's heard that, and then taking second place an hour later. So.
Exactly. So I didn't think, like I say, I didn't really know how I looked because I avoid the mirrors.
Yeah.
And I avoid mirrors backstage because I'm real hard on myself.
Right.
Because I don't never think I'm good enough for myself.
Yeah.
So I won't look in the mirror or nothing because, it'll kind of like mess with my confidence a little bit.
Yeah. But you know what?
So I'll just let them judge me and me not judge myself.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, when Joe came back was saying all that, I thought he was kind of like an old man, just kind of senile and just going kind of crazy.
Oh my God!
I just played it off like, okay, Joe, whatever you say.
Oh,
I guess you didn't see the first call out,
Wow. So
so when they called my name for first, I was still under the impression that I was going to place trying to make the top 5.
Right.
When they called and they got to the top 3, I'm like, okay, I got third. And I'm like, okay, for sure I'm gonna go. After they called third, I say for sure I ain't gonna win this thing, because I just wanted to make the top 5.
Right.
That was my goal was because from 9th place, there's no way a guy gonna go from 9th to 1st.
Right.
And they called Flex second, I'm like, I was in shock.
Wow.
I was really in shock. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't remember what had happened until like 3 minutes later when Vicky came on stage and helped me up off the floor. I went back and watched the film and saw that, Flex had said something to me, Chris had came over and said something to me, and I didn't remember none of that stuff. None. I wonder what Flex said.
Did he ever tell you?
You know what? I don't think I ever asked him.
Well, there you go. You can ask him in Vegas.
So yeah, I don't think I ever asked him because after I watched the video and thing, I was still kind of like in a little bit of a shock about winning the thing.
Yeah.
And just caught me off guard, basically.
Right. Now, I don't want to say that Phil Heath is. A lot of people think he's just overconfident, where he doesn't think anybody has a prayer of ever possibly beating him. And I mean, he has a lot of fans, but he's also got a lot of haters because I think they don't like that cockiness. Because even as dominant as you were, I remember right in the middle of your 8-year reign as Mr. Olympia, somebody asked you, who do you consider your toughest competition or your most dangerous competition? And they wanted you to name like one person or something. You said all of them. You didn't underestimate. You didn't underestimate one man in that Mr. Olympia stage. As good as you were. So. Yeah,
because I know how I won the show.
Yeah. Right.
I came from 9th all the way up to 1st.
Right.
So anybody that was competing in the show, had a chance.
Yeah.
As long as they were in it, basically. Because just like I won, they could have came up and won too.
Yeah.
So I didn't win until they called my name as the winner.
Right on. I mean, another reason why you were popular. You just always stayed humble, no matter how successful you got, no matter how many guys you beat. You were always the same guy from
Yeah, I was
beginning to end.
always skeptical about them not, let me win or not let me take the title, and they just going to decide to choose somebody else,
Yeah.
because you never know what's going to happen in this society.
Right. All right.
Anything is possible.
So you competed every year except for that one year, from '92 all the way to 2007.
Yep,
So
exactly.
15-year span of time up there at the Mr. Olympia.
Yep.
What was it like for you at the end of the '07? Because you knew you were retiring. You actually made a speech thanking everybody. It was very emotional for everybody in that theater, where was it that year? Oh, that was Vegas. That was at the Orleans,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. That was a hard day for me, because I would have competed until I couldn't compete no more. But I knew, that time had caught up with me, and I wasn't going to be able to be competitive on that level anymore, because they say ain't one person in this world that's not that's undefeated, and that's Father Time.
Yeah.
That's the only person that you can't beat on this earth right now.
Yeah.
And that's what caught up with me, because I remember getting ready for that show, and I was trying to squat, and my training was just real hard that year. I mean, I couldn't squat like 500 no more, and when I used to be able to do it for like 15, 20 reps.
Wow.
I could barely do like 1 or 2 reps. So I'm like, oh man. And then my strength had went down a little bit. I used to be able to do 200-pound dumbbells for like 12 reps.
Yeah.
And I could even do like 2 or 3 reps.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. So I guess it's coming to an end now. Because I'm not as strong, and I don't get as hard as I used to get, and I struggle in my preparation as far as being able to do all that cardio with ease and all that kind of stuff. Everything was hard that year.
It was,
So I'm like, okay,
it was
it's
nerve
time
damage,
to.
right? Was that the issue?
You know what? Because I had surgery right after that. 'Cause I remember I was up on stage, and I would stand for like 5 minutes, and my feet would start going numb. I'm like, wait a minute, something wrong. So I would actually go and sit down, because that year I wasn't as popular as I was the other years, where they would have me out there, and they would be comparing me to guys. They only called me out like a couple times. So when they didn't have me out there comparing me to nobody, and after they were done with like the top 5, I went and sat down, because my feet were really in a lot of pain, because I was standing there for 5 minutes and I felt the numbness, and in another 5 minutes it started getting real painful, where I couldn't stand anymore. So I would go sit. I went and sat down actually, and right after the show, I'm like, something's going on real wrong, and I got to go to the doctor. So I went and got an MRI, and they're like, yeah, you got this disc that's pushing up against your nerves, causing the blood not being able to flow. So we're gonna have to go and shave that down, and so it won't be poking out against those nerves, and you'll be okay. So I went and had surgery like a month later or something like that, because I think we had a tour and all that kind of stuff. So I went and had surgery like a month later, and they fixed it too. Yeah, I didn't have no more pain or nothing after the surgery.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry that all happened to you. You were the greatest and everything, but I think it does at least let people know, because they will say, well, Ronnie was a machine, Ronnie was an alien, he wasn't human. You are a man. You're a man, and you have to deal with all the same things other human beings do, and eventually,
Exactly.
Even the greatest bodybuilder that ever walked the earth, even his body started to break down eventually. He's not a robot. He's a man.
Yep. Yes, that's true. We all human, and we're all subject to injuries and stuff. And I had actually herniated that disc back in 1996. I remember, and it held up for a long time, you know, until it started giving me problems. I was able to squat 800 for reps, deadlift 800 for reps, and do that 2,300-pound leg press for reps with a herniated disc. To be honest with you, Ron, I remember when I herniated that disc. I actually finished working out.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
I heard a loud pop while I was squatting. And I'm like, what was that? And the guy like, man, I don't know, but I heard it too. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm done with squats. I'm gonna finish up with leg press and do my leg curls and all that.
Wow. And
I finished working out, and I went home, put on my uniform, and I was getting ready to go to work. And I'm like, wait a minute, because my back would always hurt when I did legs, but after an hour after the workout, it would stop and go away, and I'd be completely like back to normal.
Right.
But this day, the back pain didn't stop, and I'm like, wait a minute, back pain didn't go away this time. Something's wrong. Wow. So instead of me going to work, I went straight to the emergency room. I called into the job and said, hey, y'all, I think I hurt my back, so I'm not coming in today. I'm at the emergency room. They're like, oh, okay, no problem. So I was there for about a couple of hours, because they were doing all these tests and they couldn't find nothing wrong, and they were giving me pain medication and all this kind of stuff, giving me shots and stuff. And they had me there for like a couple of hours, and they're like, well, we don't know what's wrong with your back, but the x-ray is showing that you're completely fine. I'm like, I need something else.
Wow.
And then I went and did an MRI like the next week, and they're like, oh, yeah, you got a herniated disc. We can do surgery on you right now if you want to, but if you don't want the surgery, you can always just, rehabilitate yourself. And I'm like, I'm not going to have the surgery. I'm going to rehabilitate this myself. And that's exactly what I did. I went to the chiropractor the next day, and they started doing all these massages and all this kind of stuff and putting me on all these machines. And 2 weeks later, I felt a whole lot better. I went back to the gym and started squatting.
So, you had no medical treatment for you. You went to chiropractor.
I went to chiropractor, and they fixed it.
Because that's the disc is like bulged out in between the vertebrae, right?
Yeah, but they put me on these machines that pull my disc apart.
Oh, okay.
So there was no pain or nothing. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel the pain actually until I quit going to the chiropractor, and they took me off those machines. Once they took me off those machines is when the pain came back. And I'm like, oh, man. That's when I had to have the surgery.
Wow.
As long as I was on that machine that was pulling my disc apart, so they had this new machine, this new technology that will pull your disc apart and kind of like hydrate your disc and all this kind of stuff. And it worked. It was like a magic pill or something.
On a side note, I think that would actually help me get taller.
Huh?
I said, I think, we all get a little shorter as we get older.
Yeah.
And they say it's because we lose the fluid inside the disc. So if you could stretch it out and get fluid in there, we could stay the same height till we die, I guess.
Yep. And that's what this machine was doing, pulling my disc apart and hydrating the disc. And like I said, I was normal. I didn't feel no pain or nothing, And like I said, I was able to squat 800 for reps and deadlift 800 for reps and everything. And once they took me off those machines, because I thought I was completely healed. Yeah. And that disc started to, protruding again. And that's when I had to have the surgery.
Wow. So it sounds like if you had stayed on those machines forever, you'd be okay.
If I had stayed on those machines, I probably would have never had to have surgery.
Wow. Crazy.
Yep.
So we got the Olympia coming up next weekend. Are you excited for this year?
Oh, yeah. I'm always excited about the Olympia.
So, people are saying Phil's got number 7 very easily. Do you think it's going to be easy for him?
No, I don't think it's going to be easy at all.
Who do you see giving him the toughest fight this year? Which guys?
Rami.
Yeah.
You know, you can only hold that kind of size and condition off, you know. After a while, he's gonna be just like I was, you know. Uh, they can only hold me back for so long, you know, and
yeah.
one day I'm gonna put it all together.
It's good, man.
And
Robbie
that's
might
kind
do
of
it.
like what happened.
Yeah, this could be the time he does it.
Yeah, Ronnie, he got all the size. Once his condition and his muscles start maturing, it's gonna be kind of hard to stop for a minute there.
Yeah.
And he's gonna come up, and he got a lot of size, a whole lot of size, and all he needs is just a little bit more shape, a little bit more muscle maturity, and his time is coming around. He's getting to that age where he's gonna start putting, you know, giving these guys, you know, a hard time. They're not gonna be able to compete with him because, you know, he's just too big and too muscular, and it's gonna be, you know, pretty much over.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that might be this year, it might be next year, it might be the year after next year.
It might be next year, it might be the year after, but it's gonna happen eventually. So get ready, because he's coming. You know, just like you didn't really see me coming. I don't think they're gonna see him coming either. You know, right. I was trying to tell people back in the day that Victor was gonna win the Olympia too. You know, because Victor was coming up like that too.
Yeah.
He actually won in 07.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was in first place all the way up until the pose down.
Pose down? How do you lose in a pose down?
I don't know. I have no idea. But he lost the pose down, and he lost right there. But he won the show all the way up until the end.
Wow.
Sure did.
That's crazy. I
don't know what happened. Yeah. Somebody had a change of heart in a major way, just like that.
Wow. Huh. So, you know, it's theoretical. Phil could get 9, maybe even 10 titles. You know,
yeah.
Anything
is possible.
Anything is possible. Exactly. Who knows? It might happen. You know,
it might happen. Then it might not.
I mean, we watched Lee Haney for 8 years. Thought there'd be a 9 to 10. He quit. He retired on stage at 8. We watched you go for 8 years straight, and then, you know, your body started fighting you and shutting down in a certain aspect.
Yep, exactly. By the time I was a lot older than Lee. You got to remember, Lee retired at 31.
Right.
I won my first one at 34.
Wow. Yeah.
So I was 3 years older than Lee at my first one.
Yeah. But you did your first show. You were like 27 years old back in, was 89, 90?
My first show was 90, yeah. So April 7, 1990.
Okay, so you were 26.
26, yeah.
Yeah, because Lee, I think, started competing when he was like 17.
Yeah. That was my very first show. I started competing at 26 years old.
Yeah.
You know.
So
I got a kind of a late start, you know, on everything. Because I went to college for 4 years, played football and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And got out and got a job, worked at Domino's for a couple of years, and finally got tired of that, and then I joined the police department.
Yep.
And right after my training is when I started bodybuilding in '89. Right there, I finished my training in November of '89.
Yeah.
In December is when I started training for my first show.
Wow.
When Brian saw me and said he'd give me a free membership to the gym. Because I've been working out at the station, you know, the whole time I was training for the police department.
Yeah.
For the academy, yeah. And as soon as I got out the academy and got cut loose on my own, is when the guy saw me, you know, on a call and said, "Man, you pretty big. Where you training at?" I'm like, "Station." He's like, "You need to come to Metroplex. We got a lot more weights over there." Yeah. I'm like, "Okay," because they didn't have enough weight at the station. They only went up to like 315 on the bench, and that's you know, I could probably do like 15, 20 reps with that.
Be like, the NFL Combine.
Yeah. I do need more weight. All they got at the station is 315 pounds.
Wow.
So I went over to Brian's, and started working out there. And Brian saw me. He's like, man, you're pretty big. You compete? I'm like, nope. He's like, man, you should compete. You can probably be world champion one day or something with that physique. I'm like, you think so? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no, man, that's all right. I don't want to compete. I just got this job at the police department. I heard them guys had to take drugs and all this stuff.
My goodness.
He's like, no, you wouldn't have to do that. I'm like, no, that's okay. I don't want to compete. I don't like dieting. I like eating hamburgers because back then that was my favorite food: hamburger, pizza. Because I worked at Domino's. That's all we ate. I ate pizza every single day, and I got used to that. And I'm like, I don't want to diet.
Didn't you say that you guys had a deal with a Burger King down the street that you guys traded pizza for burgers?
Burger King was right next door to us.
Okay.
So we would trade pizza for burgers.
That's awesome.
And then Kentucky Fried Chicken was right next door. It was like a food court, actually.
Okay.
It was a little food court where I worked. And I would trade with Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell. Who else was there? Burger King was there. I would trade food with them because I got tired of eating, all that stuff. After a while, I got tired of Burger King, got tired of fried chicken.
So you had a variety.
And then
that worked out well.
I started eating tacos. I got tired of that, and by that time, I had quit working over there and started working for the police department.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way I could diet. But when Brian said, I think like the third or fourth day I came in there, he's like, man, I tell you what, I give you a free membership to the gym if you are competing this show with me coming up in a couple months. I'm like, you gonna give me a free membership to the gym? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'll do it for a free membership, but otherwise I ain't gonna compete. But you gonna give me a free membership to the gym, and he said, I teach you how to pose and everything. I'm like, okay. He said, I've been competing for like 10 years or something. He was telling me.
Yeah.
See, he said, I know how to diet and all this stuff. He said, all you gotta do is just get up, go, and because I'm competing in the show too. He said, all you gotta do is just come over here and we got this guy gonna film us posing and all this stuff, and I teach you how to pose and I teach you how to diet and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're gonna teach me all this stuff, I'll do it. And a free membership too.
Yep.
You can count me in. You had me at free, buddy.
So at that first show, I know you did the novice category because you didn't think you were ready for the open.
Because it's my first show, and that's what they say. Your first show you got to do novice, and if you win novice, you can go to the open class. I'm like, well, okay, well, I definitely need to do the novice because I don't know nothing about this bodybuilding stuff. This is my first show. So I'm going to do the novice.
But I bet the open winner was very, very happy that you did not do the open.
Yeah, because he was a real short guy. He was short, but he was real muscular. And somehow he beat all those guys.
Yeah. You were 5'11" and what, like about 210 at that first show?
I was 5'11", 215.
Wow.
At that show, yeah.
So.
But I was 210 when I started. And I gained, a little bit of muscle from doing the bodybuilding. Eating like 5 times. Cause before that, I only ate like 3 times a day, and then Brian had me eating like 5 times a day, 4 or 5 times a day. So I was putting on weight and everything going into that show, and I got all the way up to 215. I remember to this day. I'm like, man, I done gained. But you know why? You know why I was 210, Ron?
Why?
Because I tried to join the FBI. And they like, you too fat, you too big. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you need to weigh 188 at your height. Like 188. I'm like, okay, I'll try to get down to 188. So I went and did all this running, and I was running like 3-4 miles a day, and doing all these sprints and trying to diet a little bit.
Yeah.
My diet back then was not eating as much. Because I didn't know about, proper diet. So I didn't eat as much. And I was like 225 in college because we ate a lot of junk. And I got down to 210. And I told the guy, he's like, well, 210 is not going to cut it. He said, you need to be 188. So I was like, what if I go ahead and have my body fat tested? They're like, no, that won't work either. You gotta be a certain weight. I'm like, oh man. So I went and applied at the police department right after that, you know, and as soon as I got hired on, you know, I kept running, you know, so my weight stayed down low, real low. And in the academy, you had to run like a mile and a half, like every week. You had to do that.
Yeah.
So I ran every single day after we got out of school.
Yeah.
So I kept weight down.
But 188 was not happening. Not in your lifetime.
188, it was impossible, like totally impossible.
You probably graduated high school heavier than that.
You know what? To be honest with you, I was 185.
Okay.
When I graduated high school, because I remember because I made all state and all district and all that stuff, and they had my weight, you know, right along there with my titles.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman, 5'11", 185, all district, all state, you know, all conference stuff, you know, we had in high school. I made all that, you know, on the football team, but I never got a scholarship. So I went and walked on at Grambling and made the team, and played 4 years over there.
How could you have done that well as a high school player and not gotten offered a scholarship?
I was from a school that was real kind of small, and no recruiters came to our game.
Wow.
No recruiters, like zero.
Right.
Recruited from our conference, our district. So we didn't have no recruiters. Because after we graduated, you know, we talked to the coaches. Hey, coach, anybody recruit for us? He's like, no, I ain't heard from no colleges or nothing. I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy. Oh, well, I guess I just had to go walk on somewhere. And Grambling was an hour away. You know, I could drive. Actually, it took me like 35, 40 minutes to drive down there. I could drive down there and, you know, go to school there. Because I couldn't afford to go to like any big schools, right? Because they were too far away. But Grambling, you know, I could drive there because I had a car, and I got a grant. You know, back then the government paid for your schooling if your mom and dad didn't make that much money. Right. And grants and SSID paid for my schooling.
Yeah, it was a state university, right?
Yeah, state university. So everything was, you know, funded by the state.
Cool. So
I only had a few dollars here and there.
So let's skip ahead to this Olympia. I assume you're going. Where can people find you?
I'm not. I won't be there. I call Flex and ask them, can I sit at their booth and sign? They like, no, we full this year. We got too many people, so we can't. We ain't got no room for you this year, so
wow.
I won't be able to. I won't be signing nowhere. I'm gonna just go to the show, I guess.
Wow.
You know. Yeah. So
interesting.
The Flex. I signed at their booth last year. You know, Flex and Muscle and Fitness or whatever. But this year they said they I guess they got all their athletes or something. Yeah. You know, they had guys signed the contract. Those contracts over there still. Right. Yeah, so I guess they got all the athletes, and they didn't have any room for me this year, so I won't be signing this year. I'm going to just be at the show watching, and that's it.
Well, cool. Well, you get to relax and enjoy yourself a little bit more. That's the positive side of it, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can go to a show or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Comedy show or something, you know.
Cool. Yeah, they got all kinds of shows. I might have to eventually see one, too. Cool. So, all right. Well, hopefully I bump into you. It would be cool to see you again, as always. Appreciate you taking a lot of time today.
You'll see me there.
Yeah, you're an easy guy to spot. So.
Exactly.
So, all right, cool. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time, Ronnie, for the interview. You know I hear kids in the background. I know you've got to get back to dad stuff and whatnot. So thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate it very much, sir.
All right, no problem, Ron. You have a good one. We'll see you at the show.
All right, thank you, Ronnie. Have a great night.
All right, you too.